So starting out on the back,
Yeah.
shoulders touching each other, feet close to the glutes, knees caving in. We're just going to begin to focus on the breath, starting as always with just observation. No need to control or manipulate or judge. Just beginning the morning by checking out where we're at right now. And rather than starting the class with eyes closed, I want to encourage you to just look up at your ceiling with a soft gaze. That is allowing your vision to be spread evenly across the focal point of what's right ahead of you, and then your peripheral vision as well. You can imagine that maybe someone painted a portrait of your pet on your ceiling right over your head. There's a couple different methods for learning to soften the gaze. Just find one that works for you here. Maybe experiment with pressing just a little extra weight into the feet, seeing if you can completely connect the lower back with the ground. Maybe the right hand comes to the belly and the left hand comes to the heart. And we just really focus on grounding here. So as you breathe in and out, just observe the way the breath affects your body. Observe how deep or shallow it is today, how slow or fast. Check in with if you have any tension you're holding on to in the head, face, in the neck, shoulders, low back, glutes, thighs, feet. Sometimes we hold on to tension or grip in places we don't expect to be gripping in. So just take a moment to ask yourself with curiosity, where am I holding on to tension today? And then take a moment to notice if there's any places in your body that feel really relaxed, the inverse of that. Maybe it's your hands feeling really heavy and resting on your body. Maybe it's your belly, just soft and easy this morning. After we've taken a moment to kind of introduce ourselves to ourselves this morning, we can go ahead and allow the right foot to slowly extend out, and then the left foot slowly extends out. Maybe flex and point the toes a couple times here. Maybe allow the hands to reach over the head. A big full body stretch. Inhaling and exhaling. The hands rest at the sides once again. Maybe you pick your head up off the ground and rest it back down on the ground. And maybe you pick your shoulder blades off the ground for just a second and then lay them back down on the ground. Maybe you could take your hips up off the ground for a second and then lay the hips back down. It's a nice tool for reconnecting to alignment in the morning or any time of day. And here is where we can begin to allow the breath to be controlled. Begin to extend your inhales and extend your exhales. Feel your breath filling your body up from the bottom of the spine to the top of the chest. Breathing into your low belly, your side body, and your back. As you breathe in, see if you can feel your shoulders connect extra deeply with the ground. And exhaling from the top of the body down, as if the breath is water being poured from a glass. You can continue to have the hand on your stomach and the hand on your heart if you want to. Or you can, if you're feeling energetic today, maybe you have the backs of the hands on the ground, palms facing up, receptive to outside energy today. But if you're feeling a little tired and like you need a little restorative time today, maybe you do take the hands to the belly and the heart. Continue extending and slowing down the breaths in and out. And maybe the eyes soften to the point of closing here. I'm going to do a little bit of box breathing here, which just means breathing in for a count, holding for a count, and exhaling for a certain count, and holding the breath at the bottom at a certain count. And the count we're going to start out with is 5. So go ahead and meet me at the bottom of an exhale. So breathe all the air out. And we're going to inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding the breath at the bottom for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath at the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding the breath at the bottom for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more round of this guided. Inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath at the bottom for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to lengthen the inhales and the exhales with an extra 3 counts. If that seems confusing, just try going with it and see what happens. So we'll breathe in for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath still for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale the breath for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding the breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding the breath out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I want you to go ahead and continue these breaths for 5 more rounds of inhaling, holding, exhaling, holding. But I want you to take them at your own pace. This part of the practice is customizable. So if you're feeling like you want deeper inhales, maybe you extend your count inhale, or if you want a longer hold, try extending your hold count. Or maybe you just stick with what we've been doing. But I'm going to just give you 5 breaths to play with this and make it your own. And at the end of the 5 breaths, we'll come back together. So go ahead and begin your 5 breaths at your own pace. As you breathe in, expand. And as you exhale, soften your body. Make your body like jello and sink into the ground more and more with each exhale. Or maybe as you inhale, check in with all the areas of tension we identified at the beginning of practice. As you exhale, see if you can release tension from those areas, softening through the shoulders, neck, head, feet, thighs, glutes, belly, face. If you lose track or lose count, don't get frustrated with yourself. Just allow yourself to be where you are. Practice some self-compassion. Just come back into your body for this final breath of our 5. Allowing the final breath to leave the body. Holding the final breath out. Then we're just going to release this. We're going to release this pattern of breath and just allow the breath to turn back into what it was before practice today, or at least stop controlling it. Take a moment here, feeling the mat rising up to support you, feeling your weight pressing into the mat. Take a moment to step back into the role of passenger. Check in with where the breath is at now. If there's any lingering thoughts buzzing around your head, just imagine that they're all on a list, a grocery list that you could shut inside of a book and put on the shelf. And you can take that book back off the shelf when practice is over. But for now, this time is yours to just focus on yourself, focus on the present moment. Soften the tongue in the mouth. Notice the temperature and texture of the air around you. And on our next inhale, we'll wiggle the fingers and toes. Stretch the hands over the head as if we're waking up in a movie. Breathing in and exhale. The knees come in towards the chest. Maybe they rest on the belly, thighs. Take the hands around the knees. Maybe you cross the ankle. The hands can be over the knees or behind the thighs here. And just give yourself a little hug here. Don't overthink this. Take a deep breath into your belly and feel it press against the thighs. Exhaling, grounding the back into the earth. Imagine that you're a little seed right here. It's March, so it's a good time to be starting seeds indoors. Imagine that you're a little seed here. And then I want you to visualize a strong beam of sunlight coming down from the ceiling, warming your whole body up. Soften through the body. Feel the sunlight on your face, neck, chest, shins, chest. I didn't already say that. Arms, hands. Allow the lips to settle into a gentle smile. Feel this imaginary sunlight on your body growing warmer and warmer. until maybe you slowly begin to allow your feet to press away from your body and your hands to press away from your body and extend them like roots of a seed. It's just freshly germinated. Roots are actually, I guess it's the first leaves that come out of the seed. Well, my lack of knowledge about horticulture side. We'll inhale here and then begin to blink the eyes open, practicing that soft gaze, looking at the ceiling once again. Then we'll pull the knees back into the chest, taking a knee in either hand. We're just going to move the knees back and forth with the hands. A good move for the SI move. Just continuing. Then maybe you allow this to turn into a little bit of freeform lower back massage. So moving the knees in a circle on the earth, allowing the lower back to be pressed against the earth in different areas. Notice if there's a particular area that feels tight, stiff, maybe a little tender this morning. And don't think of this as pushing through pain, like foam rolling yourself. Think of this as just exploring. And if there's a place that actually feels good, maybe you do pause there. We'll continue with this until we open the arms to a T, palms facing up. And then maybe we allow the knees to fall, and by fall I mean lower with control.
I'll do it.
You're right. Take a deep breath in here. Feel the chest expand. And then exhale, inhale, knees come back through center. Then they fall slowly to the left, with the shoulders both grounded on the earth. Take a deep breath here. Exhaling with softness. See if you can relax through the hips. And then we'll inhale, both knees come into center. Hands catch hold of left knee. Inhale, right foot comes out towards the front of your mat. Inhale, right hand on left knee means that we pull the left knee across the right body. Extend the left hand towards the left. Keep the shoulders grounded on the earth and look towards that left hand. Take a deep breath into the shoulders here. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Come back through center. Taking this left knee in the hands, we'll do a circle in either direction with that left knee. And then extend it, taking the right knee in towards the chest. Hug the right knee, point the left toes, ground into the earth with that left heel. Extend the right hand. And on an exhale, we take the right leg across the left body, look towards the left hand, or look towards the right hand. Shoulders planted firmly on the earth. Soften through the neck. Come back through center. We're going to take the sole of the left foot to the earth. Kick the right ankle. Flex the right foot and cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Any of you know where this is going. We'll take the right hand. We'll pull the left knee up off the ground and in towards the chest. We'll thread the right hand through the hole we've created between the legs. And then we'll cross the hands over either the thigh of the left leg or the shin of the left leg. And we'll lower the head down if you raised it, keeping both feet flexed. And as we press in towards the body with the hands on the left leg, we'll press away from the body with the muscles of the right, particularly the right knee. But never use your hand, move your knee around manually. And then we'll just relax into this, or do your best to relax into this. If this is actually just like too much for where you're at in the morning, you can always do this pose with a strap behind the left leg and just pull the leg in towards you as your muscles start to release. Don't feel any pressure here to go deep or go to your limits. You know, starting off with a stretching practice. We're just exploring here. Another deep breath, especially in the low belly here. Releasing the breath, noticing if you're feeling anything, even emotionally, come up in this stretch, this reclining pigeon pose. Then we'll release the leg, make a circle in either direction with that right knee, and then we'll take the same pose on the other side. Lay the right foot onto the earth, take the left ankle over the right knee, well, really over the right thigh above the right knee. Flex both feet and then lift off of the ground with the right foot. Grab the left hand through the hole you've created, release the fingers behind the right thigh or shin, over the shin. And then pull in towards the body with the hands. You may not even need to pull in more than you are already pulling. And press away the muscles of the left leg, the left upper thigh. Another option here is you can have a pillow behind your head. Keep your head. Take deep breaths here, flexing both feet, being mindful of the joints. Maybe you imagine that sunlight from earlier beaming down and warming up through your hips. You feel the sun on your face and it helps you relax. Taking deep breaths here. Inhale to expand. Exhale to release. And then slowly let go of the right leg. Stretch the right leg out long. Maybe take a circle in either direction with the left knee. Stretch the legs out long once again. Inhale, stretch the hands and the feet far away from each other. And exhale, we're just going to go ahead and scoot the hips towards the left side of the mat. And we're going to roll onto our belly towards the side of the mat. Come onto the belly here. We're going to make a pillow with the forearms. We're going to start out by resting the forehead on these forearms. You shift the hip points back and forth a couple times, but then just settle in to a little crocodile pose, grounding this time through the front body on the earth. If you have a pillow handy, this is really nice to do with a pillow. See if you can focus through ungripping through your back body. As you breathe in, feel the breath expanding through your back. Feel the skin of your back moving across your back muscles when you breathe in. And then we're going to take the right cheek onto the arms. And we're going to go ahead and just take the left knee up the situs. So you're just bending the left knee out towards the left, just taking it about 90 degrees with your left hip. Make sure to pad this knee if you need it. I'm just going to take this gentle inner thigh stretch here. You can take the knee up higher if you want to, if it feels like you have the mobility for that right now. And then we're going to focus on pressing the hip points into the ground, particularly the left hip point. Imagine you will probably never be able to square your hips here, but just imagine that you're working towards squaring the hips. So we're going to come onto the forearms here, planting the elbows beneath the shoulders, pressing into the forearms, pressing into the palms, the thumb and pinky, the index and wedding ring finger, and the middle fingers. And we'll inhale to look forward, and pushing here, just connection with the earth. You take the knee a little lower and see how that feels, if that's less of a strain in the low back. If you're feeling this too much in the low back, chill out with this pose. Press the belly into the earth. And then we'll go ahead and allow that left knee to come back down onto the earth. Extend both legs. Keep the forearms where they are. Inhale. Press into the forearms now. Imagine that we're pulling the front of the mat back towards us. Really gluing the forearms and the fingers to the earth. And creating power here. Creating traction here. Pulling the shoulder blades together and down the spine. Healing the heart up. Relax through the chin. Keep the chin slightly tucked. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale, come back down onto this pillow of the forearms. Maybe you scoot the hips to the other side of the mat now. And then we just bend that right knee this time. And take the inner right knee to the earth. And pull it up towards your head, but just stopping wherever you begin to feel a stretch in the right inner thigh. You can come up onto the forearms here if it feels good. Or if you're really feeling enough of a stretch, just laying in crocodile, that is valid too. Take a moment here to breathe into the body. Imagine that someone is pressing into the right side of your lower back, helping you to even out those. Don't collapse into the elbows here like I'm doing right now. Press evenly into the forearms, lifting the heart. One more big inhale, and then allow the legs to reset. We'll take another space here, or if you want to, you can take a baby cobra with the hands planted beneath the shoulders, just barely pressing into the hands, or maybe not pressing into them at all. Press into the legs and pubic bone. Take a deep breath in here. Make sure the shoulders are relaxing away from the face. And exhale. We'll move into child's pose. The knees as wide as the yoga mat, the toes touching. Hips coming towards the heels. We'll take a few deep breaths here. Closing down the eyes. Stretching the hands towards the top of the mat. Maybe you rock across the forehead a little bit, side to side, massaging through the sinuses. Then we'll come up onto the hands and knees. just a little bit of cat-cow, but maybe you try doing cat-cow on your forearms, or maybe you're up on your hands. Either way, we're inhaling to drop the belly, thrust through the hands, open through the heart, soften through the neck, and exhaling. The motion begins at the tip of your tailbone and like a wave goes up your entire spine until you're looking at your navel. Reversing this motion, breathing in. Cow. The belly is heavy as if there's a sandbag on your back. Exhaling to cat. Pressing in your middle fingers. And then we're going to do sort of a rotisserie cat-cow here. So breathing in, allowing the body to move towards the right. Come through cow, slide the belly towards the left. Come up through cat, move the body to the right. Come into cow, slide the belly towards the left. Come up into cat. Just take a few rounds of this, syncing it up with your own breath. I highly encourage you here that if you find a little pocket that feels particularly sticky, maybe you pause there and just examine it for a moment. Don't task yourself with completely solving every little crack and pop or feeling you might experience here. Just observe. And then we'll reverse the rotisserie. Really connecting to the breath here. Maybe you even get all the way in with it and bend the elbows as you move through cow. And straighten the elbows as you move through cat. If you get really low in the hips. Just experiment here. Allow yourself to introduce a little sense of play into your practice. That sense of play can serve us really well when we're working on things that are challenging in different ways. Wonderful. Then we're going to press the right hand into the earth. And of course, if the knees are getting tired here, feel free to pat them. Inhale, lift the left arm up towards the sky. Open the hand. Maybe give a little wave to the other side of the room. And then on an exhale, we're going to take this left hand, slide the back of the hand across the mat beneath the right armpit. And keep sliding that left hand until the whole left arm is on the earth. And until maybe we can place the left shoulder onto the earth. The back of the head comes to the ground. And take a moment here to recenter through the hips. And soften through the back. Thread the needle pose. Send deep breaths into your back. Allow the breaths to help you stretch even further. As you stay here in your thread the needle pose, you can also try extending that right hand towards the top of the mat. If you've done this pose a couple times or more than a couple times and you know it'll feel good. While you're here, on your next inhale, think of something that's been giving you stress in your shoulders. Just call to mind whatever is lurking beneath the surface. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and allow it to be released. Maybe it takes a couple breaths in and out for you to fully release it, but just let it go from your consciousness for this moment. One more breath here, and then we'll slow motion come out of this thread the needle pose, moving so slowly until we can open that left arm up towards the sky. Once again, place the left hand on the earth. We'll plant the left hand. Inhale, take the right hand up towards the sky. And exhale, thread the needle. Back of the right hand slides across the mat beneath the left armpit until we can lay the back of the head on the earth. Looking up, pressing into the left palm, pressing into the back of the right hand. Try making sure that you are putting equal weight in either of your legs. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale through the mouth. 3 more breaths like that, breathing in through the nose. Expanding through the belly. And exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One final breath in. And exhale. Slowly we come out until we open that right hand over the sky, over the head once again. Going back to hands and knees. We'll come off of the knees now. Take the legs out in front of us. And then here is another little dealer's choice moment. You can either inhale, take the hands up and over the head, and exhale, bend the knees. And bend over the legs, trying to maintain a straight back here. Or you can take a forward fold with wide legs. Inhaling with the feet wide, whatever that means to you, with the toes pointing up towards the sky. And exhaling to just lean forward. Just maybe dip into both and just pick the stretch that's feeling like it's serving you the best today. I want to give you some agency here. And then we're going to just hang out in whatever stretch that ends up being for 5 breaths. So go ahead and identify which pose you want to be holding. Set up and exhale, making sure that we're keeping the back as flat as we can. That's the number one thing that I think people have a misconception about as well. If I curve my back a lot, then I can straighten my legs more, but you're actually not stretching your hamstrings when you do that. So you want to maintain a flat back and keep the knees as bent as they need. Soften through the back of the neck by slightly tucking the chin. Just fold. If your fold is up here, that is gorgeous. As long as you can feel it in the legs. Sending deep breaths into the belly to expand and dissolving that breath with your exhale. We're going to take a couple rounds of those box breaths from earlier. So go ahead and recall those counts we did at the beginning of practice. Recall the counts that worked for you. And let's just settle in for sort of a stretching meditation. Remember, it's counting in on the inhale for a certain number, holding the breath for a certain number, exhaling for a certain number, and holding the breath out for a certain number. See if you can soften the tongue and the mouth once again. Soften through the shoulders. Keep checking into the spine. Again, if you have a pillow here, nothing feels more luxurious to me than having a pillow beneath the knees here, or on top, or a pillow beneath the knees and on top of the thighs. Flexing through the feet. As you get to the last breath, maybe you begin rocking a bit from side to side, feeling how it changes the stretch. Seeing if maybe you can begin pulling the toes in towards the face. And then wherever you are, begin to finish up your breath. Come back up to seated. Take the soles of the feet to the earth. Cross the elbows over the knees. Tuck the chin into the chest and just go into your cave for a breath or two. Maybe you feel a deep stretch across the shoulders doing this. And then we'll inhale, come back up to our upright seat. Take the soles of the feet together. Inhale, knees falling apart. Straighten through the spine. Let the heart shine forward. And exhale, bend over the legs, butterfly pose, or cobbler's pose, or Padmakonasana. Maybe you take the thumbs to the arches of the feet and give yourself a little massage here. It's less about suddenly becoming an Olympian level of flexibility and more about just softening into what feels good. Yeah, go ahead and just give yourself a foot massage here. Don't forget the heels. Go into the balls of the feet, arches, whatever feels good. You know your feet, or maybe you don't. The toes. Maybe this massage even comes into the ankles a little bit here. Taking a moment and then maybe letting the last breath or two of this posture be an honest to goodness stretch. And we'll come back up through center. Just take a quick pit stop in an easy cross-legged seat. Take the right hand to the right side of the body. Inhale. Left hand comes up and over the head like we're drawing a rainbow. Make sure to not pull that shoulder up towards the ears. Pull that left thumb towards the back of the room so we can open up through the armpit and focus on the breath here. Grounding down through the left hip. Sending deep breaths into the left side ribs. And moving slowly through center, we'll take it to the other side. Coming through center. Your last stretch of the day is going to be a hip stretch. And once again, find your own adventure, choose your own adventure. So I'll give you a couple options. We can take our easy cross-legged seat, keep the back straight, and just walk the hands forward until we feel a stretch in the hips. If you're wanting more than this today, and you have done some hip stretching in the past, and your knees are not too tricky, or at least you are pretty good at paying attention to what's happening in the knees, you can make this easy seat into a deeper hip stretch by taking the left foot. Well, my left knee is on top, so whatever foot's on top, take it above the knee on the ground, and you'll scoop the hips forward. Pull that bottom knee closer towards the center until you can keep the hips on the ground and somewhat stack the knees. And you can flex the feet here. Now, some people can do this and their knees are just lined up on top of each other and it's gorgeous. I'm not one of those people though. So go ahead and flex your feet wherever you're at, whether you're in the easy seat pose or maybe you're in your reclining pigeon again. Just take your hip stretch that you've chosen to do. Take an inhale here. This should not hurt your knees, by the way. You should just feel its knees. We'll take an inhale and then we'll exhale. Maybe bend the slightest increment forward, tucking the chin, looking towards the earth. And whatever pose you are in, as you gaze at the earth, imagine that you're looking into just a crystal clear puddle of an undetermined depth. Gazing into this puddle, see your reflection come into the puddle. And see yourself, ignoring the cat on the screen, see yourself happy, content, in a good place. You have any visions of things you'd like to be doing, things you wish you had more time for? Maybe you imagine that stuck in the puddle with you. Just take a moment to focus on where you want to go. Sending deep breaths into the hips. Give me a force. Well, force is not a word you ever want to use in a yoga class, but sometimes you can feel like forcing. Maybe you allow the corners of the lips to curve up a little bit. You allow a gentle smile to come onto your face as you look into this puddle at yourself. And maybe you think that this visualization is crazy and you're not going to do it, and that is completely fine too. Just enjoy the stretch then in that case. And you take just a couple more breaths here. And then we're slowly going to come back up. Begin slow motion, like you're moving through honey, uncrossing the legs, no matter what stretch you chose to do. Take the knees out wide. We're just going to do some of this. Bounce the knees up and down. Shake the feet from side to side. And then we're going to take the hip stretch on the other side. So whatever knee was on the bottom just now, we're going to go ahead and reverse it. And maybe if you did this knee stacking pose on the other side, oops, I just didn't follow this. If you did this knee stacking pose on the other side, and it felt great, and on this side it's too tight, feel free to just take that easy seat pose. Where we're at, we're just going to shift the hips up, move into our hip stretch of the day, flexing feet no matter where you are. We're going to inhale here. And exhale. Slowly, keeping the back flat, shift forward, and look down at the earth. Tuck the chin slightly. Sending breath into the low belly. If you're in the easy seat, allow that belly to just take up all the room it can. Expanding with every inhale, softening with every exhale. Maybe you choose to gaze back into this pond and see yourself. Or maybe you choose to look into this pond in front of you. And maybe you see someone that you miss quite a lot that is very hard to see right now. You just take a moment to connect with them. Feel if maybe they're here with you right now in this moment. It can be anyone you choose, even a pet. Taking deep breaths in and soft breaths out. Grounding through the hips. Softening the tongue in the mouth, softening the expression on the face. And then slowly, maybe you imagine that beam of imaginary sunlight shining down and hitting that puddle in front of you so that it just turns white. And as it turns white, maybe you begin to come back up onto the hips. Slowly uncross the legs. Bounce the knees in either direction. And come onto the back once again. Hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug here and take a moment. Close your eyes. And just say something nice to yourself inside your own mind. Then we'll allow the feet to come out onto the mat. Once again, we'll pick the head up off the mat. Lay it down on the mat nice and wide and soft. The shoulders up off the mat, allow them to come in towards each other. Lay them back down on the mat. Let the hips come up. The tailbone tucks. The tailbone. Soften through the front body. We're entering our Shavasana here. Return to the breath. Return to softness. Imagine that you're just a puddle of water on top of the soil of a garden and you're just melting into it now. Allowing yourself just another minute of presence. Listen to whatever sounds are in your environment. Accept them as if you're a little pebble at the bottom of the stream. And everything's happening around you, but nothing is affected. Soften through the lips and the cheeks. Soften through the shoulders and the belly. And then we're going to imagine that sunbeam, that imaginary sunlight from earlier, shining down and just shining on our heart center. Feel your body getting warm from the heart out. Feel yourself, your emotional body becoming light. Free of obsession, free of disturbance. Free to enjoy the rest of your day as it is. Move the tongue in the mouth, wiggle the fingers and toes, and slowly bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself one more hug here. The practice of 1,000 hugs. And then we'll take the outer edges of the feet and the fingers, flex the feet, Take just a little quick child's pose and interlude through child's pose. You straighten, stretch the feet in either direction a couple times. And then we'll roll over onto one side in a fetal position. Take a moment to ground here. Just coming back. Press ourselves up into an easy seat once again. Hands at heart center. Inhale here. And exhale, bowing down. Closing up this practice. Thank you for practicing with me today.